All right, today I want to talk a little bit about preparing your Nosework dog for multiple hides. In the lower levels of the NACSW trials as well as UKC trials, this is not something that your dog needs to be experienced with to actually go and compete and do well and succeed. However, as the levels advance and they are more challenging, a different component that is incorporated into the actual competition of the pet dog side of Nosework is multiple hides. So I very, very frequently have people ask me, what is the best way to handle this and how should they prepare their dog? Having said that, I often explain to people, if your dog is having issues with just one hide and things are not going in the way that they should, or the way that I feel that they should, and as far as my training system, I don't even address multiple hides. But let's assume that everything's going well with your dog searching and locating one target odor, one hide, and you're now ready to progress and have your dog find multiple hides in one search area. Where I think people run into issues is after the dog has found the first hide, the dog wants to often go back to this particular hide. And to me, it's a management issue. It's like anyone that knows me and the system that I use for Ramsey Nosework, I start at a certain point within the search area and I methodically clear the area. And for me, that's normally from left to right, often on the perimeter, and then come back and detailing anything in the inside of that particular search area. But once your dog does show change of behavior and bracket and go to the source of the first hide, I'm going to go in and reward the dog there. And if it's a food dog, I'm going to, after I mark and release the dog for the response and indication that they provided, that again, that it's exactly what I want and I've installed that and they know that. Once I do mark and reward them there, I'm going to place food there and I lure the dog roughly 4 to 6 feet continuing on in the search before they actually get that piece of food. Now, once I've given that piece of food over here, I can grab the harness and do again my pre-search ritual, like to cue the dog to start searching for the next hide. And we're doing all this again to methodically clear the search area. So there's a starting point, the dog is searching. Again, it's not a random chaotic bouncing around the room type search. It's a very specific way of searching that me as a handler, I'm watching as a supervisor. And the dog shows change of behavior. They go to the first hide. They provide the response that they know they're supposed to do to get the reward. I use the bridge, the mark, the click, whatever I'm gonna do to release them. But when I do that, the food appears at source, but I lure 4 to 6 feet in the direction continuing the search before they actually get that treat. Once they get that treat, I'm gonna grab the harness and cue the dog again to continue on the search. Now, the reason that I'm luring the dog 4 to 6 feet roughly, again to the right, because I'm starting from the left and I'm working to the right, the reason that I'm giving them the treat there is so now we are a safe enough distance away from that actual hide that I can continue the search again through the area that we're supposed to clear, and I'm far enough away from that particular hide that if they want to go back, I can stop them. If I was closer to the hide, I would feel bad, like as a handler or trainer, that I allowed them to get close to it. But if I do make that mistake, and for some reason they do get back to it, I'm going to go ahead and reward them. Because to me, it's a big deal. It's a very crucial part of my system that every single time the dog goes to the target odor, I'm going to reward them. So to kind of help this process go a little bit more smooth, I want to get them away from this actual hide. So like I said, I mark, I make the food appear at source. I'm going to lure 4 to 6 feet or so over here. I'm going to let them enjoy their reward. Kind of have our little party here. Grab the harness and then re-cue them to go on a search. And at that distance, if they do try to go back to the hide, I can stop them. So it's a management thing. So a lot of times people say, well, how do I do this? What are we going to do? My dog wants to go back. To me, there's several components here. Part of it is a methodical search pattern, meaning that we're going to start at one point and we're going to clear in a very specific manner. The other part is once we do find it, the first hide, I'm going to reward them in a way that gets them away from that hide. And that way we can continue to go, to move forward in the search. But at that distance that I've now created, the space between where the hide is, hide number 1, and where the dog received their reward, they're far enough away that if they try to go back to source, I can stop them and I don't feel bad. I feel bad if they were right close to the hide still, and I block them from it. I don't want to do that. Like I said, again, if I make an error, there's the line slipped or something, especially in training, I'm going to let them go back and I'm going to reward them. I'm going to mark the behavior. the food will appear at source, but I'm going to lure them back again 4 to 6 feet away, and then continue on in the search. So for me, again, it's something that comes up very, very frequently when I discuss stuff at seminars or in training groups around the country, around locally, wherever I am, is how do we deal with multiple hides? And that's part of it for me. It's a management thing. First of all, that I know the dog has methodically cleared the search area. And then when I do give them the reward, I'm going to use that to bribe or lure them away from source. And that gets us set to go on and to move forward. Again, we're going from left to right into the search for me primarily. So it's a management thing, but it's something that people can have trouble with because the dogs kind of want to go back frequently. And if they do, like I said, I'm going to reward them. But another component that I think is very, very necessary with this is a verbal search command that's slightly different than the actual search command that handlers give at the start of the search. And if most people that I know will say find more. And that's kind of like it's also cueing again to start another search. But in a way it's saying, hey, we already found that one, let's go find more.